Well, hello, everyone. My name is Don Kortz. I'm Academic Dean here at Rockford Lutheran, and it's my pleasure to share with you some information about some exciting opportunities we have for you, our new sixth graders that are coming to our campus next year. First of all, welcome to you and your families. We're looking forward to your being here, and we want to let you know now of some of the different opportunities that sixth grade and actually this time that we have it coming up, even the summer before sixth grade starts, provides for you to get started on a great academic program. You should have received today an email that included a copy of your schedule and also a PDF of a document that looks like this. And I'm going to be referring to that a little bit as we get further into the program. Want to make sure you have those and have those available. Also, you're going to be receiving a phone call the next coming weeks too to set up a time for us to meet individually to talk about your specific needs for your student and their plans and future and academic opportunities that are down the road, that sort of thing. That'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks, either in person or virtually, depending upon what you're comfortable with. That'll be a one-on-one time we'll be able to meet and talk with you. I'll talk with you as students and connect with you as parents and talk about what the future program will look like. Today, I want to talk a little bit about some opportunities that are available for you academically, but more importantly, how that connects with some opportunities we have for this summer. Now, we had a session where we presented this to fifth grade families, and we had an issue with the recording. So Mrs. Norman's not going to be joining us for this presentation. I'm basically redoing the presentation so that we've got a recording of it for those that weren't able to join us for the presentation earlier. So before we get started, though, let's begin with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for these young people. We thank you for the gifts you've given them and for the opportunities that lie ahead. Bless us now, God, as teachers and parents and administrators, as we seek to serve you by opening up the door to those opportunities and providing them with a chance to learn and grow and develop those gifts you've given them, those passions that they have, those interests that they've begun to develop. Help us to see the ways in which we can enable them to become the disciples that you've created them to be. In your name, amen. Okay, so as we take a look at the material in your academic folder, I'm actually going to share my screen here so that you can see the document itself, and you'll be able to follow along as I'm talking through some of the things that are available to you to think about for the future. The first page that shows up here is actually the back of the folder. That's what happens when you run through the copy machine and create the PDF. But in any case, this is the front cover of academic folder, and spend a lot of time there talking about just a broad picture of reiterating what the core values of our school are, which obviously you guys are familiar with as being members of the Academy, talking a bit of a bigger picture of graduation requirements and course offerings and dual credit and honors and those sorts of things. For today, though, I want to talk a little bit about what you see on the next page, which is where it starts getting into the details of the classes for sixth graders. You'll see, for example, there, as you take a look at the English column at the top left there, you'll see we've got two English classes for sixth graders, a regular and an honors level. Now, your teachers have made a recommendation for you in terms of placement into those English classes. So if you have questions about those placements, the English placements, math placements, that sort of thing, please contact Mrs. Preston, Mrs. Buss, and talk with them about those questions that you might have relative to that. I've taken those recommendations. Mrs. Norman and Mrs. Jensen, our math teacher here, have worked with them and those recommendations and kind of laid out what would be the best fit for your students, particularly in the area of math. But feel free to connect with them if you have questions on that. But as we take a look at those options that are available for your students down the road, you'll see there's a regular and honors level English all the way through till 12th grade. You'll notice that 12th grade honors English is a dual credit class. DC there means dual credit. That means that's a class you're going to be able to get both high school and college credit at the same time. So our seniors that just now finished have received credit for a college level literature class and a college level composition class. So they've got 6 college credits already under their belt even before they go off to their university. What that means is when they get to college, they're going to be able to go take other classes while the rest of those freshmen are having to take their lit classes and composition classes and those sorts of things. Now, the thing I mentioned to students about this, okay, students as a part of you, I think you're going to be interested in a typical, let's say, composition class or literature class in college is going to be about 150 hours of homework. okay, taking tests and writing papers and reading books and doing research and so on and so on. So, you know, you're going to have to take senior English no matter what. But if you take dual credit senior English, that means that's going to be 150 hours of homework in college that you don't have to do. And since this is 2 classes, that's actually 300 hours of college level homework you don't have to do, okay? That usually brings a few smiles to faces, okay? That's kind of an advantageous thing. Now, the thing that brings smiles to the parents' faces is the fact that that's going to be 2 college classes that you don't have to pay for when you get to the university. There is a tuition charge to the university here for this course. It's less than half of what you would pay at Rock Valley, so it's quite a great deal. And something I'm sure you're going to want to take advantage of. Now, the question is, how do we get there? Well, to get to that honors level senior class, you really need to be an honors junior English, and it helps if you're an honors sophomore, and so on and so on. And that really brings us all the way back to, okay, so where are we at with 6th grade English? Now, if English is a good, strong subject for you, and you're already recommended for honors 6th grade English, that's great. You get in that class, you keep getting A's and B's all the way through, you'll be in those honors classes all the way through, and you're all set. If you know, English is not so much a strong point for you, well, here's what works for a lot of people. Take the regular 6th grade English and work at it like you've never worked at it before. And if you can get an A, then you can get recommended next year for honors 7th grade English, and so on down the line. But you know, I guess the message especially is to those of you that probably are pretty good at English, but maybe haven't put as much effort into it as you could have before. This is an opportunity for you to see, oh yeah, this might be a good reason for me to get into that honors English class, because down the road, that's going to pay off big time when I'm starting to talk about my college experience. The other thing to keep in mind is that kind of preparation that you get all the way through in a very challenging high-end English class is going to be beneficial to you, not only through the GPA, but also your college entrance testing. So think about those benefits too that you have coming down the line. The other thing I want to talk about is math and science, actually. As you take a look at the math offerings here, you'll see there's a 6th grade, a 7th grade, and an 8th grade math. Those are just for 6th graders. So that's an 8th grade level math class for 6th graders. Now, the cool thing about that class is then as 7th grader, you go into honors pre-algebra, and then you go into honors algebra 1. It's a high school level honors algebra 1 class in 8th grade. That means when you get into 9th grade, now you're in honors geometry, then 10th grade, you're in honors algebra 2, 11th grade, you're over here in honors pre-calc, and by 12th grade, you're either here in statistics or honors calculus, both of which are AP classes. Again, college level classes, you can get college credit there. You have to take a certain test to get a certain score, but you can also get college credit that way. And a lot of colleges, if you're not going into a math related field, you only need 1 math class. You again can be done with math in college before you even set foot on that campus. Okay, so a great opportunity for you. However, in order to get to that college level math class here, you need to start by working on that all the way back here in 6th grade. See, a lot of people think, well, 6th grade is not that big a deal. It's not part of my high school transcript. Not true. Okay, 6th grade really matters. It's a very important start for you, because if you don't have that kind of grounding in 6th grade in your math program, you're not going to get to that honors algebra 1 by 8th grade. Okay, so that's a key. Now, here's the other thing that's really cool about this, though, is if you're in a high school level math class in 8th grade, you can also take a high school level science class. Physical science down here is a high school level course that you can take in 8th grade if you're in that algebra 1 class. That also means then as you come into freshman year, you can be in biology, sophomore year honors chemistry, junior year honors physics, which is an AP class. But then look at all these other science classes that are available to you here as you're looking at your junior, senior years. You've got honors biology 2, dual credit, honors chemistry 2, dual credit. We just received permission to run our honors anatomy physiology class as also a dual credit. And you've got physics 1 and 2, both of which are AP level courses. All right, so a lot of opportunity here for more college credit. You take 3 of those dual credit classes before you go off to college. In many cases, if you're not going into a science related field, now you've got your science done at the college level, because most colleges only require 3 science classes. Okay, so some great opportunities there for you to get some things done. However, if you're going to have time and the opportunity to take those high level dual credit science classes left to 12th grade, how do you get there? You get there by starting in 6th grade, because it all starts with what's going on with math back here in 6th grade, getting you to that high school level class in 8th grade, that high school level science class in 8th grade, and so on. Now, that brings us to the main thing we really want to focus on tonight as we're talking about this. And this is where I would typically introduce Ms. Norman. She would share information and details for you, but let me give you a few details now and let you know that you can contact her about this. We offer over the summer a special program for students. It's called our EDGE program. The EDGE program is specifically for students who want to take a jump ahead in their math experience. So let's say, for example, that you were recommended for 7th grade math, okay? That means you're pretty good at math and coming along well. Maybe could have gone a little better if, you know, we had a little bit more opportunity, put a little more effort into it, that sort of thing. Okay, so the summer before 6th grade, which actually this program starts next week, Wednesday, okay? So starting next week, you could take a class here during the summer that's going to basically cover the core content of 7th grade math. That means instead of being in 7th grade math in August, you could be in 8th grade math. That would move you then along that track to Honors Algebra 1 in 8th grade, and then to physical science in 8th grade, and then into all those dual credit science classes, those AP level math classes, and into that college credit by the time you're a senior, okay? So that's basically the opportunity that we're focused on here is if you're recommended for 7th grade math, you can take that class over the summer, that EDGE program, and if you get an 85% score or higher in that program, and the testing that's a part of that program, then you'd be eligible to take 8th grade math next year instead, and that'll put you on that track that we were talking about. Now, the EDGE program starts with 4 weeks of in-class instruction, and we'll be following all the social distancing regulations and those sorts of things. Classes will be no more than 9 students, so with the teacher, 10 people in the room, that type of thing. It's $275. You have 4 weeks of instruction here, so you'll go from this coming Wednesday through the first Wednesday in July, and then there'll be 4 weeks of online work for you to complete at home, because you are taking pretty much a full the content of a full year's worth of math. So it's a fair amount of work, and there's a lot to cover. Now, that 4 weeks component of it that you're doing online, you know, if you really want to work at it, get it over with, and get it done in a couple weeks instead of 4 weeks, or if you're going to be taking a vacation in July, you can kind of, you know, leave a little lapse time for your vacation and do the coursework in the other 3 weeks they have available, that sort of thing. So there's some flexibility there. But that's called our EDGE program. Now, we offer that every summer. So students, let's say, that are in 7th grade math this year, you want to make that jump to pre-algebra in 7th grade, you can take the EDGE program next summer as well and move into that honors pre-algebra next. We also could be offering a program this year for 6th graders who want to make the jump into the 7th grade math. So talk to Mrs. Norman about that. Communicate with her either via phone or email. Her email is anorman@rockfordlutheran.org, ANORMAN@rockfordlutheran.org. Encourage you to contact her soon, because we've got limited openings available for this EDGE program in particular. So, but every year we offer that as an opportunity for kids to jump ahead into the next level math class, so that you can take a look at the opportunities that are available then as you get into the upper level junior, senior level classes. Okay. Now, we have another program that's available also. It's called the Boost program. This is for students who need some extra support, who need some extra help to be ready for their experiences in language arts and math. This is a program that's also a 4-week-long program. It again begins here the first week in June and goes for 4 weeks, ends the first week of July. It's available particularly for students who know they need a little bit extra practice and support in the areas of math and language arts, or have not been successful before. And in our case, if you're part of our program and you don't pass one of those classes, then we require you to do the Boost program to get you ready for the next year, because we don't want you to continue to get further and further behind. So this is a great opportunity for some of you that just know you need a little bit extra practice in math and language arts, reading, writing, that sort of thing. And maybe, you know, because the last couple of months were a little bit of struggle for you, that sort of thing might be helpful for you. You might feel more confident coming into 6th grade if you have this opportunity in the Boost program to get that work. The programs run from 8 to 11:30, Monday through Friday, in both cases, both Boost and EDGE. There's a break time in between there, so there's about a 3-hour day program of work with some breaks in there. But runs 8 to 11:30. each day here on our campus. And again, following all the proper social distancing protocols and those sorts of things that are expected now for school situations. The Boost program is funded through a grant that we receive from the government through Rockford District 205. So there's no charge for Rockford Lutheran students that want to be a part of Boost program. So both those programs are available to you this summer. I encourage you to be in contact with Mrs. Norman as soon as possible if you're interested in those programs, so that you can get signed up and be ready to go starting with those opportunities next week. Again, she would be the person to contact via email or phone message, either here or at our LA campus. If you have questions about your placements and that sort of thing, again, feel free to contact the other teachers involved, Mrs. Preston, Mrs. Buss at RLA. And I'm available if you have any other questions related to your long-term academic program here and scheduling, those sorts of things. Again, you should be receiving a phone call from our office in the next couple of weeks to set an appointment that we can meet either online or here in the building, and go through on a one-on-one basis what the opportunities are for your student and what your program will look like over the course of these next few years. So thanks much for joining us today, and look forward to meeting with everyone, and look forward to the opportunity we have to watch these young people grow to be everything that God's created them to be. Thanks, and look forward to meeting you soon. Bye now.